Lena had always thought of her attic as a place for old, forgotten things, dusty boxes, broken furniture, and childhood toys she no longer played with. But today, as she rummaged through the mess searching for a Halloween costume, something unusual caught her eye. Behind an old stack of books, glinting in a shaft of sunlight piercing through a crack in the ceiling, lay a small metallic object. It was about the size of a grapefruit and shaped like an elongated egg, with strange grooves and symbols etched into its surface. It looked nothing like anything she had ever seen before. Curiosity overtook her. She reached out and touched it. The metal was cool, almost unnaturally so. The moment her fingers brushed against it, the object emitted a soft, blue glow. Lena pulled her hand back in shock, but then, hesitantly, picked it up again. The light intensified, pulsing gently as if it had a heartbeat. She knew she had to show it to someone. With the artifact clutched tightly in her hands, she rushed down the creaky attic stairs and darted out the door, heading straight for her best friend Jake's house. Jake was in the garage, tinkering with his old bike. He looked up as Lena approached, her face flushed with excitement. "You have to see this," she said breathlessly, holding the object out in front of her. Jake wiped his hands on his shirt and squinted at the artifact. The moment he laid eyes on it, his expression shifted from curiosity to shock. He dropped his wrench, and his eyes widened. "That can't be," he muttered, stepping back, his face pale. "What? You've seen this before?" Lena asked, confused. Jake shook his head. "No, I haven't seen it, but I've read about something like this. My dad used to tell me stories about ancient alien artifacts left behind as beacons or tools by a race that visited Earth long before humans even evolved. He called it the echo of the unknown. But I thought it was just a myth." Lena looked at him, then down at the artifact. "Well, it's real. And it's doing this." She pointed as the blue light inside the artifact swirled and changed, forming patterns like tiny galaxies. Jake stepped closer, hesitant but fascinated. "We have to figure out what it does." "How?" Lena asked. "I don't know, but my dad had this old journal with sketches and notes about artifacts like this. We need to find it." An hour later, they were huddled in Jake's basement, his dad's old journal spread out on the floor. It was filled with scribbled diagrams, notes in faded ink, and sketches of artifacts that looked strikingly similar to the one Lena had found. Jake ran his finger along a particular page. "Here, look at this. It talks about something called an activation sequence. Supposedly, when the artifact is exposed to certain types of energy, it can unlock. Well, something. What kind of energy?" Lena asked, her excitement tempered by a flicker of fear. "Electromagnetic. We need to use a high-frequency signal, like from a radio transmitter," Jake said, his voice tinged with disbelief at his own words. "I have an old CB radio set up upstairs. It might just work." The two of them quickly set it up, and with shaky hands, Jake tuned the transmitter to its highest frequency. Lena held the artifact closer, and as the signal hit it, the blue light inside it flared brighter, almost blinding. Suddenly, the artifact began to hum. A low, resonant sound filled the room, vibrating through their bones. Lena felt a strange sensation, like a whisper brushing against the edge of her consciousness. It wasn't a sound, exactly, but more like a feeling, a thought that wasn't her own. Jake turned to her, eyes wide. "Do you hear it?" Lena nodded, her face pale. It's like it's trying to say something." The artifact's light condensed into a single point and then exploded outward, projecting a holographic image into the air. It was a map of the stars, rotating slowly. At its center was a glowing blue dot. "It's a star chart," Jake said, breathless. "And that dot, it's marking a location." Lena's mind raced. "A location for what?" Before Jake could respond, the light shifted again, showing an image of a massive structure floating in space. It looked ancient, covered in the same strange symbols etched into the artifact. It was a ship or a beacon of some kind. "This must be what it's pointing to," Jake whispered. "A ship or a station. It's out there, somewhere, waiting. But waiting for what?" Lena asked, staring at the image, trying to make sense of it all. The hologram flickered, and suddenly, a message appeared in a language they couldn't read. But beneath it, as if sensing their confusion, The symbols shifted and reformed into English words. Heed the call. We are the echo. Seek, and you shall find. Return, and you shall know. Lena felt a chill run down her spine. It's like an invitation. Jake nodded, his eyes alight with a mix of fear and excitement. An invitation from something ancient, something beyond our understanding. Do you think anyone else knows about this? Lena asked. I don't know, Jake replied. But I think we're the first ones to find this in a long, long time. The artifact dimmed, its glow fading back to a soft pulse. The hologram disappeared, leaving the room feeling strangely empty, as if a presence had left. Lena looked at Jake. What do we do now? Jake's face was serious, more serious than she'd ever seen it. We find out where this leads. We find the echo. Lena nodded, gripping the artifact tightly. Whatever this journey was going to be, she knew one thing for certain. Her life had changed the moment she found that ancient, alien object in her attic. And now, standing at the edge of the unknown, she felt a strange sense of purpose. Then let's go find it, she said, her voice steady. Together, they set off, the echo of the unknown calling them toward a mystery as old as the stars themselves.